Warren Mates. I don't know if he still comes here. I've seen Dave Chappelle here. So I knew him back then. But he was funny, just as funny. But it truly is a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. I know I'm in Boston. When I got traded from Seattle to Boston, it was like, because this couldn't happen. Just to give you guys, what I want to do today, just so you guys understand, is I know a lot of times you see what goes on TV and you see what we talk about sometimes. And, you know, Twitter helps a little bit more because you get to know what guys are thinking and what they're going through. But today I want to be able to like kind of give you inner scope of kind of some of what I've gone through most of my career, you know, leading up to college and then, you know, definitely when I got drafted. But just to go back a little bit, on draft day, 1996, some of you guys were very young, very young. But I was sitting in my hotel room in New York City. I was actually in New Jersey. And I was supposed to, with the fifth pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves had the fifth pick, and Milwaukee Bucks had the fourth pick. And when you get drafted, the first four teams, and I thought I was going top four, that's what I was projected. So the first four teams, which were Toronto, Vancouver, Milwaukee, and Philly. Those are the first four teams. I worked out for those four teams. And so I sat there on draft day. Philly picked Allen Iverson. Vancouver picked Marcus Camby. Toronto picked Marcus Camby. Vancouver picked Sharif Abdul-Rahim, and Milwaukee picked Stephon Marbury. So I'm sitting at the table with my family draft day, and I'm ecstatic because before I came downstairs for the draft, I spoke to Red Auerbach. And he says, if you come up at 6, we got you. So in my mind, I was like, yes, I can still stay on campus. I can play in Boston. I'm not leaving New England. That was my hope and my desire because I wanted to stay here because fans in New England have been so great to me. So the fifth pick came, and the cameras came over to my table, and Minnesota was picking, and my head dropped. How is this happening? I couldn't believe it. I didn't even take a visit to Minnesota. I was like, they're not following my rules. And unbeknownst to me, they can do whatever they want because they're picking. And they picked me at the fifth pick. And I was very, very hot that day. I was getting drafted, but I was very, very hot. And then on draft day, I came back to the stage and I got traded to Milwaukee. And I was doing media for about 5 minutes, and I was speaking to everybody in Minnesota. And they were asking me what did I think about going to Minnesota and what was it going to be like playing with their guys. And I was still mad. I was like, who's in Minnesota? And then the NBA guy comes back and gets me, and he says to me, something's happening, we need you to come with us. So I have a Minnesota Timberwolves hat on, and he takes me to the back, and he goes, you've just been traded. So if my shoulders weren't slumping then, I was done by then. I got traded to Milwaukee, so now I'm sitting with Stephon Marbury on stage. We exchange hats. Now, just so you know, my whole family's there. I have about a clan of 12 people. They all got Minnesota Timberwolves hats. So I'm sitting here. I give Stephon his hat back, or his hat, because he's down in Minnesota, I'm in Milwaukee. And now I have to go do interviews with the Milwaukee station, everybody in Milwaukee, and I get in front of the camera and I'm getting booed, everybody's in the building booing. And I was like, this is not the way I started my day, or I wanted to start my day. And on top of that, all the Marbury family did not give my family the Bucks hats. We gave the Minnesota hats, and we didn't get the Buck hats. And I tell Stephon to this day, at the fourth pick, he got $200,000 more than me. And I told him he still owed me $200 since we got traded. So, that was just a little side bit of information for you. But a lot of people ask me where did I grow up, and every time they ask me where I grew up, I always say, you tell me where you're from, and I'll tell you I might have grown up somewhere close to you because I grew up in the military.